Now it's time, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving to the very first panel for the day. A little intro, how we all know in today's environment, consumer sentiments are rapidly shifting. Costs are rising, yes. Competitive pressures are intensifying. The panel that we are going to invite will discuss and explore how retailers can stay deeply relevant to our customers while maintaining the resilience and operational strength needed to thrive in today's challenging times. We'll dive into strategies around building loyalty, leveraging data and technology, optimizing value propositions, and staying agile in the face of disruption. First and foremost, I am delighted to introduce our moderator. Can you please put our hands together for Mr. Kumar Rajagopalan, CEO, Retailers Association of India. And the distinguished panelists joining us on the stage, we have Girish Krishnan, Director, Amazon Pay. Everyone, can you make this a little more louder? Thank you. Lalit Agarwal, MD, V-Mart Retail Limited. Rajesh, Jain, MD and CEO, Lacoste India and Chairman, RAI Delhi Chapter. And the esteemed panel is here. Our moderator is all ready to start with the panel. A very warm welcome to everyone on the stage. I am going to hand over the stage to our moderator, Kumar Rajagopalan. So, stage is all yours.
Thank you, and thanks for this lovely introduction. I think it's been wonderful. And thanks, Rajesh, for that wonderful thing about Delhi and how you can really surmount all kinds of things and be here on time. So for each one of you who've come here, I want to have a huge thankfulness to be shown to you. So huge round of applause to each other. I think you made it. I think it's always wonderful to be inside a fully filled up room. And it's also one of those days when we were getting a bit worried, but you made sure that everything happened. Originally, this panel was supposed to be done by Mr. Biju Kurian, who is the chairman of Retailers Association of India. Biju got held up in Mumbai. He was coming in from the US and he was transiting in Mumbai, but he got slightly delayed. So he's going to come in, but he's going to come in later. So I do have to say thank you from Biju's side also. So I'm communicating that to all of you. We've also had 2 or 3 people who couldn't turn up. Dhruv was supposed to come in, but Dhruv, I think, got held up in a hospital because his father is not feeling too well, so he couldn't come back. Anupam Bansal got held up for something else. And I think we've kind of been able to truncate this to a slightly smaller crowd than originally. But this also means 2 things. One, each of the gentlemen in this place have got more time. And 2, many of you will get more time. So I'm thinking now, because anyway I am a joker in the pack who has been brought in to come and take care of this panel suddenly, I've kind of shifting this focus slightly, depending upon how each one of you reacts to this. My thought was that while it is normal for a panel to be having a lot of questions, I do have a list of questions which all these gentlemen are prepared for. I would try and see if I can create lots more Q&A time with the audience. Is that okay? You've got to, this is a Q&A time. So let me put the rules of the game very clearly. When I do turn it as audience time for you to ask questions, you are only allowed to ask questions. Do not make it a point for you to come in and say what you do in your lives or to make statements. Statements are not welcome. I know each one of you are doing something really great and good, but because we've got these 3 gentlemen here, this whole thing is about taking as much as we can from the 3 gentlemen on stage. Is that okay? If it's a statement, I would, as the person who is going to be the MC for this particular panel, I'm going to say stop there, because I don't want statements. I want only questions to be posed to them. Secondly, be brief. If you are brief, then people can answer faster. Most of us will try and be brief for all of your benefit so that we can take the most out of the time that we have. So that's the second rule that we have. And anyway, since I'm the boss in this particular case, when I say stop, that's the way life is.
So you are not a boss, I hope. Kumar, you are a principal now.
I'm the principal, okay. So I'm the principal here. So I'll stick to my principal job and then I'll stop there. Not because I don't love all of you. I have a lot of regard for each one of you, but we've got to get the show going. So that's why I'm going to interrupt. So don't feel offended at all. All of you definitely got a lot going on in your minds, and this is a very brief moment to be able to bring all of them out and to be able to bring them onto the table. So don't get too worried. Is that okay? Is the rules and the method okay to all of you? My only requirement is keep your brains working. All of you have done a trade-off. I keep telling my friends every time I go and meet people that हम सब trading करते हैं. Every minute of our life is trading. We have traded. There's a concept called trade-off, right? We've traded off our time in our offices to be available here. We've traded off our time from our own family to be here. So when you have traded off something in your life, try and make sure that you make the most of it. So try and take back as much as you can, and I think that's what it is. For me also, it's a take back time. When I speak to all of you in this room, I go back with something new in my brains because something has been taught to me in some form or the other. So that's my expectation from everybody. Keep your brain working to try and get whatever you can from this traded off time that you've given, and you invested this time into this place. So thank you. I have the questions, but I would request that everybody on the panel first introduces themselves on three fronts. A, about themselves. B, about the business that they are doing. And C, about what they are expecting will happen to retail as a business. The third part we will come back as the next question. But firstly, a little bit of an introduction about yourselves, because we seldom ever do enough introductions of people who are on stage, and I think we sometimes lose out. For me, I've got an advantage. All the three of them are friends. I've known many of them for long periods of time. Lalit ji was the initial chairman of the association here in this place. He's also a very revered member with us at a national level as part of our national council. And of course, the fact that we've got Rajesh Jain with us as a chairman of RAI here for this chapter, as well as a person who's been a friend for a long period of time. He's also part of our national council, so that really helps for me. And then, anyone of you here do not know Amazon Pay? Nobody in this place. But Girish and I have known each other for a few years now. And Girish is one person who always talks consumer before he talks about Amazon in any form whatsoever. So we are very lucky to have these three people with us. I'll try and fill in wherever I can to make things happen. So we'll start off with Rajesh Jain. So Rajesh ji, a little bit of yourself and a little bit about Lacoste, the company that you work with.
Thank you, Kumar. Am I audible? Yeah. Good morning, friends, once again. So my name is Rajesh Jain. By education, I'm a chartered accountant and company secretary. I was into my own consulting also. I started my career with the largest consulting in India, but then I switched on to my own consulting. And then around 2002, 2003, I got into retail. It was such a wonderful experience that for the past 22 or 23 years, I am staying with retail only, and I love every part of it. I love the challenges that retail poses, and I love the people, the vibrancy that retail offers to all of us. As far as my professional calling goes, I am the managing director and CEO for Lacoste India. Lacoste, as many of you would know, is a premium lifestyle international brand. And I have been working with Lacoste practically since I joined retail in different capacities, initially as a consultant, then as CFO, and then I got converted into MD and CEO. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajesh. That's really spectacular. I think it's going to be useful to get enough questions answered by you. Thank you. Lalit ji, anybody in this room who does not know what Lalit ji does? Don't you dare lift your hands. Okay, thanks. Lalit ji, introduction for you. You don't have to perform.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here in our city. Thank you, Kumar, for inviting everybody. I'm Lalit. I was born in a joint family. My father was a tailor, and he used to run a tailor shop. From there, my childhood journey starts, and that's the fun time that I had at his shop. Later on, which became the core genetics of my body, where I learned retail, consumer, customer experience, cutting, master, measurement. All of those came into my picture right at the early age of my upbringing, and I was also lucky enough to be have seen a tier 3 or tier 4 town in a very small states. So I have gone through multiple city in my journey. I did definitely start from my childhood as a retailer, but in the middle period I did some other packaging business, and then once again I came back into this value retail. I was also instrumental in the founding of Vishal Mega Mart and then V-Mart. So V-Mart is a 23-year-old organization. I lead this company. I founded this company in 2003 from the first store in Ahmedabad. Today we have got 535 retail stores across 297 towns, having more than 12,000 people working for us. We are a listed company. We do believe that India holds a lot of potential. There is a huge potentiality at the Bharat level of India, and that is where our belief is that every people who live on this earth should not be left out with this basic need of good clothing and being happy. So that's our purpose. That's what we want to do. That is what we enlighten people with, wherever they live, whatever conditions they are in, whatever status, financial status they carry, they should be made feel happy, and that is what we do for. So we all work towards that, and that's our motto, that's our goal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lalitji. We've got Girish with us. Girish, would you like to?
Good morning. Can you hear me? I think I'm truly inspired by what you just said. So my name is Girish. I'm a director at Amazon Pay. Spent like 12 years at Amazon right now. And one of the things which really resonated what sir said is, everybody has a noble mission. So when I look at it, and that's kind of the purpose of why we are in the jobs we are, right? So the noble mission, at least for Amazon Pay, the way we coded is, we said we want to simplify daily lives and fulfill aspirations of every Indian by solving their payment and financial needs. So, for me, I think that kind of a noble mission encourages me to come back to work every day. Now, how that mission translates it into like what I do and what my team does is very interesting, because payment is so foundational, right? Like today with UPI adoption, it saves people so much of time, right? It saves merchants so much of pilferage, cash handling cost, right? It makes life much more efficient. Now, once you cross that initial barrier of adopting digital payments, then I think that data, which we collect, the experience you have in terms of using payments a little bit more confidently the next time you use it, right, helps you kind of aspire for better things in life, right? And then we can also give you credit, and then the journey starts. So I feel like the opportunity to influence people's lives, right, and over a long period of time, really see transformative changes in their lives, their family, their earning potential, their spends, their social well-being. That's like incredibly exciting for me. So what I do is a part of it. So the Amazon app is one of the most useful apps I would like to believe in India. All the payments which the Amazon app supports, right, like including scan and pay, sending money to somebody, UPI payments, shopping online, shopping offline, off Amazon, Swiggy, Blinkit, Zomato, wherever you see Amazon Pay accepted, I basically power, like my team and me basically think about how to kind of power and make their experience better every day, and thereby touching all of your lives. So that's what I do.
Oh, thank you, Girish. Anybody in this room who's not got an Amazon app or an Amazon Pay capability at all? Okay, that again solves the question. You just see that. Anybody in this room who's never seen a Lacoste brand in your lives? Okay, that's easy. I'll also self-introduce. My name is Kumar Rajagopalan. I've been with the Retailers Association of India since 2009. I am the CEO of the Retailers Association. I was a retailer for a long period of time in my life. I was part of Shoppers Stop since 1993. One of the set of people who kind of helped Shoppers Stop grow from almost inception. Shoppers Stop started end of 91, but when I went in, it was like 4,000 square feet Shoppers Stop. So that's the period from where I was involved. I was involved from 1993, right? You all do not pre-calculate the age, but that's the way it is. 1993 up to 2006, I was part of Shoppers Stop till the time We had lots of stores across, and we had gone public. I was there with Shopper Stop. So my whole journey in retail has always been as part of person who's done operations, finance, systems, buying, merchandising. Almost everything that needed to be done is what we did, including distribution, logistics, HR, whatever. That's what I've done through my life at the initial phase of Shopper Stop, because there was no clear understanding of retail. When I came in, there wasn't enough. I am also like what Rajesh said, a chartered accountant originally by academics and a little bit of practice for some time. The fun in retail is kind that I know many of you are in retail, and the fun is either you have it or you don't. Either you enjoy yourself when you are on the floor, or when you're doing sales online, or you're not there. That's what we all do. I think we are there because there are, like somebody used to tell me, there are some good days, some not so good days, but never a boring day in retail. Is that right? So it's the way it is. I hope it's going to be one more of those really exciting days for us today. A Retailers Association was formed by a few retailers way back, and it's built its strength by getting various retailers to come in. Our job is to try and make the life of retail industry easier. That's what we do. Again, a big mission for us. That's why we do the Connect, Converse, Collaborate. Sanjeev Singh ji, whom you heard, maybe he wasn't the best of orators because he was reading, and we made him do that in the middle of the night at 11. He had just come back from New Zealand. So he was already 7 hours ahead of us, and he still did something at 11 in the night. I don't know how he did it, because in his brain must be telling me it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So he did it at that time. But he's done a job for us. Sanjeev Singh ji has been very, very attached to RAI and what we do. He's been a friend for some time now. We've also had Agarwal, who used to be a huge fan of RAI when he was part of the government. The Commerce Minister knows RAI quite well. And I think the fact that they know RAI is not because what each one of us does, but because as an industry, we account for something. As an industry, we believe in a few things. As an industry, we believe in modernization. As an industry, we've got a heart and also the ability to follow the rules and regulations of this country. I think that's what makes RAI what it is. If you do not follow the rules and regulations of this country, many a times you can land yourself into trouble and may find that you are not really following up. My belief is, why should you break the rules if you can follow the rules at the same time encompass the entire capability of this country and the big prospect that this country offers. I think we are lucky to be where we are, because this country has got this 1.4 billion population which can support retail as an industry. And that helps us and eggs us to do what we do every day. With that, I come on to Rajesh ji, because we've got a set of questions. I will not jump too much into it, but you can tell me about 3 things. A, the competitive framework that you operate in. B, the kind of things that you see in second tier, third tier towns. And of course, what are you doing from a standpoint of something that's really dear to the company? Maybe it's sustainability, maybe it's something else. What can you tell us about it? So 3 questions to you in a really short answer.
Thank you, Kumar. To answer your first question about the competition part, in fact, I remember about 15 years ago, a journalist had asked me that, and at that time we were very strong and we continue to be very strong. But the journalist had asked me at that time that since a lot of new brands were entering India at that time, and they had asked me, what do you feel about the new brands entering India? Don't you feel threatened by some like-minded brands coming to India? So my answer at that time was what I'm going to say, and that continues to remain the same, is that India is such a vast, such a beautiful country. It's not one market, it's several markets built into one country. So if new brands come, it will actually increase the size of the pie. More people will become brand conscious. More people would like to buy from a lot of brands, whether international brands or Indian brands, if they offer quality goods at right kind of positioning, at right kind of price. And that continues to remain my mantra also today. Like, we do have some competition in India, but we all work beautifully well in the same space. There is a customer segment which goes to them also, which goes to us also. What we believe in is a few things. Actually, it can't be one thing or one mantra for any brand. There is a combination of several things that, as I keep saying, retail is not doing this and this and this. Retail is doing this, that, everything. So retail can't be squeezed into one or two things. What we believe in is, first of all, we believe in freedom of expression or freedom of movement. So all our products, they offer you freedom of movement. B, we believe in relaxed elegance. Our products are not very they don't shout, they're not very loud. They will offer you a relaxed elegance. Now, we also believe a lot in durable elegance. When we were talking about the sustainability and durable elegance, actually touches upon sustainability mostly. How we do sustainability or how we take care of the carbon footprint that we are creating is on the three fronts. We believe in nipping it in the bud. So whatever we manufacture, that's manufactured either from the 100% recyclable material, the textile that we product, or recyclable material. Second is, we are working on expanding the lifespan of our garments so that the life of the polo that doubles or enhances, so the customers don't have to come again and again to buy our products, because that increases the carbon footprint. And the third part, which is again the most important part, is we recycle our products. Whatever is the leftover of our textile, we don't scrap it anymore. We stopped it a long time back. We give it for recycling. So it gets recycled and regenerates the yarn. From that yarn, the garments are made again, or different products are made. And we also ensure that we communicate it to the customer. So our products, the label on the products, clearly would say that whether that product has come from a recycled material or organic yarn. And we have found it very, very touching that the customers, when they see it, they also feel empowered, because they think that they are contributing the social cause. And they're also willing to pay a little extra for that, because all the recycled products, they cost a little more. So this is about some of the points that we as a brand do look at thing. Of course, we will maintain our premiumness. The positioning is the same across the world. And we do believe a lot in customer experience. That's the top priority for us. And what was the third question that?
Yeah, the other question was about second tier, third tier cities.
That's right. So as I was also mentioning in my initial address, set to tier 3 cities, as we fondly call it Bharat, that's expanding like anything. There was a time when we were skeptical whether even the affluent customers in those tier 2, tier 3 cities would like to invest in expensive or costlier garments or costlier products. But we were pleasantly surprised. We extended ourselves into some tier 2 cities like Raipur. Recently, we opened a corner in Allahabad, one in Rajkot. Then we went to Amritsar and those kind of cities also. And we were pleasantly surprised that the customers have aspirations and disposable income also. So that offers us opportunity to reach out to the customers and offer them first-hand experience. What I really feel important about these tier 2, tier 3 cities or Bharat is why they are growing. A, they have disposable income for sure. Plus, they are more exposed now with the help of the media, with their own travel in bigger cities or internationally also. And they have aspirations to buy those products which come from those products. There are certain nuances, of course, in these tier 2, tier 3 cities. There could be cultural nuances. There could be different regional nuances because of the weather, because of the different festivities there. And we ensure that whatever we offer to those tier 2, tier 3 cities, or anywhere in the country, because India is a large country, we do keep those points while allocating inventory to those places. Other than that, we believe in one brand, one voice, whether it is online, offline, city retail, travel retail, tier 2 cities, tier 1 cities, south, north, everything, we believe in one brand, one voice.
Thank you so much. I think there's so much to take in from here. The very fact that customers are willing to buy it from various parts, that's why I was very keen to get this knowledge, because many people keep coming to me and telling me, yaar, ye sab chota city mein mujhe nahi kholna hai. But chota city nahi hai, there is so much that's happening in these cities. And the whole thought process and the ethos around sustainability, I think it's very touching. We will, I'm sure, have lots more questions coming in from the audience, hopefully, on various aspects of what makes Lacoste the great brand that they are. For Lalit Agarwalji, is a man whom I've always admired because on the one hand he's fighting a market that's extremely competitive. Correct, Lalitji? Very, very competitive. He's got the guts to go in and say, my price bhi khulunga. Then he's got the guts to go in and say, my second, third, jo bhi, unke liye to koi, I don't think there are any clear tiers in his mind. You'll need to tell us what's happening as far as tiers are concerned. I think our understanding of cities and tiers get broken down when he goes in because he's into various parts of the country. The third part is he's willing to share his success with various people. He's also listed in the market. That makes him lots more responsible because when you are listed, you are a very responsible company. He's got one of those capabilities to be able to talk about what he is doing, give an annual, he's willing to answer a lot of questions. Answerability is something that is found. At the same time, during COVID, I saw a man who really showed, I saw him, and I'm sure he's been like that all through his life, who showed his affiliation and his affection towards co-human beings. So Lalitji, without much ado, tell us what makes you tick. Tell us about the second tier cities. Tell me what makes your business the kind of business that it is today.
Thank you for the good, kind appreciation words, Kumar. When we speak about consumption, I believe it is directly proportionate to population. And for India, being the second largest populated country in the world, it definitely attracts lot of scope and lot of potential. And that is what I got fascinated, right, 25, 27 years before. We all really understood that there is a huge gap which is existing in the market. There is a huge gap, first of all, in the consumer aspirational versus consumer availability. So consumer do aspire a lot, and we all must have known somebody, or we must have come from some small town, or somebody who knows whom we know. So in a small town, the consumer in today's world are equally or more knowledgeable, aspired. They consume similar content that we consume in our cities, or we see international cities getting consumed. They have similar role model. They chase similar role model. They want to look like their role model, but somewhere they have a problem in terms of their ability to access those resources or have those resources with them, whether in terms of finance or in terms of the availability of those kind of product lines, or in terms of the kind of literacy that they carry or the cultural values that they carry. Because India is such a diverse nation with so much of diversity. If you go small below a particular radar into Bharat, you look at multiple religion, multiple caste, community, festivals, seasonalities, the choice of colors, the choice of print, the choice of what will they wear, when will they wear, when is a new cloth going to be. There are states which wear only once a year new cloth. There are states which wear 13 times in 12 months a new cloth. State like Odisha, we have 13 festivals where they wear new clothes on those occasions. So there are so much of consumption-led opportunities that India gives you. But the only part is, has to be more customer-centric. The consumer there is, when we say diverse, when we say they have a special need, when they say they look different, they speak differently, they eat differently, they consume differently. And so that is what we need to create when we speak about personalization. It is just not about personalizing the content or their name. It is more about personalizing the kind of product lines that they want. It is more about the kind of pocket size that they have. When do they want? What will they want? How much will they want? And how much can they pay? So I think that is what we understood a little early. That is what we tried to create. We understood their pocket size. We understood that they are the toughest nut to crack, because people, largely Indian population, earn between 20,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees, because the per capita income of India is very low. That is the 75% of India. When they consume, or when their family income is 30,000 rupees, They can't buy too many clothes in a year. They can't buy too many resources in a year. So they will buy limited number of times. They will consume, they will wash it more number of times, they will wear it more number of time, and they will also have very few clothes in their wardrobe. So they are the best one testing your product. You have to deliver them the best aspirational product. You have to give them the best prices because they don't have money. And you have to definitely give them something which cannot go away within 2 wash or 5 wash or 7 wash or even 12 wash. So it has to be good. So that is how they are the toughest nut to get cracked. And that is the business that we are in. And that is what is India all about. And that is what we all need to understand. That is the opportunity that we understood. There are towns where we realize there are towns which has a population of maybe around 25,000. I just recently came to know one of my great good doing store in Tamil Nadu called Puttukottai. Puttukottai is like 35,000 people. The Google shows 17,000 people in the city. City population is all 17,000. But the number of customers that I receive in my store every day is 800 people. 800 people walk into my store every day. And that's the kind of opportunity that you have. That is the kind of opportunity that India holds. We may not be remembering those names. There is a store called Puttukottai and there is a store called Paddukottai. And they are all both similar, but they all are rocking. So my point is, whether I go to a northeast town called Tura in Meghalaya, or I go to this Puttukottai in Tamil Nadu, there is so much of potential I see, and there is so much of aspiration that people have, but they are very, very clear what do they want to buy. How much money would they invest in buying? So I think that is what we do. We create employment locally. We do go there. There is so much of potentiality available because there is definitely huge competition, as Kumar is saying. Because the biggest competition for us is the traditional retailer, the mom and pop retailer who used to exist and who still exist, and 2/3 of the market is still being catered by them. But other than that, there are definitely more organized value retailers which has come into this industry. There is whether it is Amazon or whether it is Flipkart or whether it is Reliance or Aditya Birla or Tata. Everybody has their own model. There are more than 16 to 17 big organized players which are nationally or regionally present. There are larger value retail formats in South India which are bigger size, 100,000 square feet, 150,000 square feet, 70,000 square feet. There are those kind of retailers, and there are regional players who are also state-wise very, very strong in a particular segment. There are a lot of areas where the industry can grow, both in terms of whether it is organized apparel retail or organized non-apparel retail, or it is in terms of FMCG or fresh retail. There is a huge potential on all the areas. We at V-Mart, we run 3 brands. One of our brand is called V-Mart, which is largely present. We run a brand called Unlimited in South India, which is 107 stores only in 5 states of Southern India. And then we've got an online brand called LimeRoad and limeroad.com, which we acquired recently. So we do all form of retailing. We do digital, omni, marketplace retailing as well as this, because we believe that consumer today is shifting wants convenience at every stage of life. They are not only ready to shop only at offline store, but at times, maybe 1 out of 5 times, they would definitely want to shop online also as well, because there is a need and because there is an availability which is there. So I think there is definitely lot of work to be done at various stages of your growth. What Kumar, you asked me. But you know, being a 100-store retailer needs a different kind of skill versus a 250 stores to a 500 store. And that's a different kind of skill that you require, a different kind of governance that you require in your organization, a different kind of culture that you require in your organization. And in today's digital world, the adoption of digitization, the understanding of digitization and uses of digitization, both to understand your consumer and to understand your demand and better your processes or create efficiency in your operations. That is very, very important. And that is all the pillars that we are using to try and grow and give the consumer what they want.
Thank you, Lalitji. There are the other part of you, which still needs an answer. What makes you do what you do for co-human beings? What makes you egg that up? And what is your belief system there? Because I think as businessmen, many of us do businesses. And then you land up into a situation of only thinking for you yourself for all the day. How does one really think about what am I doing and is it making sense to the rest of the community? थोड़ा सा उसमें
I think, see, largely, ultimately, every human being here is a part of the ecosystem, and we are all one. So that's the common belief that, how do you really create value for everybody who's in your purview, whoever that you can affect, or whoever that you interact with, or whoever your brand interacts with. So how do we create those value and make them feel proud is the fundamental point of saying all of this. And when we say we create value, we need to create value at every destination, every point, and every stage of life, whether they are in pain or whether they are in happy mode or whether they want to celebrate. So I think, see, humanism is something that everyone carries in everybody. Maybe people still don't breathe in like the moderator wanted us to breathe in and be mindful about it. It is just about realizing and witnessing what we are here for and what should we be doing and what should our act be, so that is it kind enough, is it good enough, so that people can feel and make themselves happy about it. Yeah.
Thank you. That was very, very short. But I hope we can take back a lot from there. There is another aspect of him which I don't think I've ever told him. He's one of the most curious human beings that I have met. But we'll come to it later. Even when he came in here, he went to all those stalls there to see what they do. Extremely curious human being. We'll come to that later, and the success or the problems that it creates for you, we'll discuss slightly later, or somebody can ask that question. We'll go on to Girish. Girish, you're part of Amazon Pay. You see what's happening to payment systems all across. So there are some aspects that I want you to tell us. A, what's happening as far as Amazon Pay is concerned? Overall, how are you seeing customers coming in? What are you seeing them do differently now? The second part of what I'd like you to tell is something curious that's happening, if there is something curious, in the way in which customers are making payments, or the kind of things that they are making payments to. Second part. And the third part is, of course, there in all our minds. How is AI redefining the entire payment ecosystem? We will, I'm sure, have questions coming in from the audience about AI and how retailers are doing what they're doing. But definitely AI is changing the payment ecosystem. So those are the three things that, and then of course, if there is something I've not asked you, be free to answer that also.
Sure, thanks. So I think we can start in terms of, right, like how we think about customers in general and like the services we offer. So recently we did this report. It says how urban India pays, right? Like this is a partnership between Amazon Pay and AT Kearney, where we actually looked at like a large set of customers and asked them, right, like questions which allowed us to kind of understand more in terms of their payment behavior, like what you were saying. I think one thing which we understood very clearly from there is, in terms of, and Amazon is quite popular in terms of the way we think about customers. So it's like customer first or customer backwards. So you always look at the customer needs and work backwards. So at least that's like the philosophy all of us follow there, right? So when we looked at these reports, it was clear, at least from a payments and like paying for shopping online and offline perspective, customers associated one pillar with value, like price and value. And the other one was more around the trust about the payments, making sure that it doesn't fail. There was quite a bit of insights around, the speed of payments, convenience, availability of, what I can use in like an offline store, for example. And then like, of course, the reward part. So broadly, if you were to segment it, of course, the value and the price, keeping it aside, it's like convenience, trust, and rewards, right? Every time you pay. And then one thing which came out outside of these was also that they wanted some amount of control, because right now I think with a lot of these options of payments, and then like concern about data privacy and like being in control is something which people like, right? So they wanted to kind of have some kind of control in terms of how to manage their transactions, the data, the instruments, all that. So I think what at least came out of it is, I think value is important, but at least as a payment aggregator, payment provider, enabling all these online and offline merchants to accept payments, I think reliability came out as like the number one thing. So we have to keep working on making sure that the payments don't fail. Payment success rates are very important, right? You are in a store, you are in the queue in V-Mart, right? Like you're using Amazon Pay. We don't want it to fail, because then it creates like problems in terms of productivity of the store, bad experience for the customer, and like, it's not a good space to be in. So we are focusing on reliability as our core. It could be boring, but doing the same thing day in and day out to make sure that the need of the customer is met, right? I think that's like number one. And then comes the other pillars of convenience. So can I provide you all these instruments over there, right? Like so, if somebody requires credit, how many people can I actually underwrite and then give them credit, right? With Amazon Pay Later or with the Amazon Pay ICC card. And then UPI, we are doing a bunch of innovations on UPI so that, including UPI Circle, so anybody in your family can actually pay from your account without really depending upon you. So making them more financially independent. So I just feel that when you look at customers' habit at this point in time in the Indian market, I think reliability of payments comes out as like the number one thing which we are really indexing on. And then the other thing I have at least noticed is, when does adoption happen? Whenever you remove friction from people, right, like in terms of what they do, or when you create like a very adjacent to what they're habituated. I think these are two things, at least I have taken away as a product manager, for a long part of my life. So what does removing friction mean, right? Like, so, for example, UPI removed a lot of friction from payments, right? Like, you can scan a QR code, quickly pay it, and be done. And then it took off. What does kind of adjacent to habit mean? Like today, a lot of people are very comfortable with the phones, right? Like, so you can open the camera, everybody knows how to take a picture. Now, you suddenly put a QR code in front. It's a very adjacent behavior to opening the camera. Suddenly that QR code adoption took off, right? So the whole notion of, now if I want to kind of handhold you into digital payments, what do we need to do? Of course, we keep working to reduce friction. So for UPI now, we have launched biometric, right? Like, so it's very easy to kind of pay. You don't need the PIN anymore, OTP anymore with cards. So it's all getting biometric. Now, in terms of how do I place an offering, which is very common to you in terms of a habit which you practice, I think that could be a big driver for digital adoption. So when we thought about it, one of the things we stumbled upon is, can we have this notion of a smart wallet or digital wallet, right? Because everybody has a purse, right? I think all of you have a purse. You carry all the instruments in it. So a lot of people who are having the Amazon Android app now can actually see a little wallet icon in the front. It basically shows how, a digital manifestation of how you carry your purse around, right? Like, so it's got UPI, all the cards saved over there, Amazon Pay Later, Amazon Pay ICC card. So we literally want people to carry that wallet around and then pay everywhere. So we feel that, like, if you think about customer behavior and work backwards, placing something like that, which is very intuitive with the customer, right, in front of them, and then encouraging them to kind of shop around with that, and then giving the pillars of convenience, trust, rewards, right, and the reliability day in, day out, is going to be like very transformative. And we have to be quite boring about it in terms of just like getting the basics right. And that is where I think we learn customers' trust.
Oh, very nice. I think the one thing I can understand is sometimes boring can be big. It gets bigger every day. AI.
Yeah, I think, like I said, like payments has to be boring, right? Because you're paying, surprise in payments is a bad thing. You're paying something, suddenly you say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm going to charge you more. Customers don't want surprise, right? I'm very familiar with using an instrument, like I'm very familiar to use UPI. Hey, I've swapped that with your card. Don't want that surprise. So I think it's very important to be, boring in payments. And I think AI is very interesting because, if you just track back, just to give you an analogy, what happened with UPI? Suddenly digital adoption went up. Now, because customers were adopting UPI, it accelerated the merchant side of acceptance as well. Merchants were happy accepting cash at some point in time. Because now customers came to your store and said, like, listen, I want to pay UPI, right? Like, so that accelerated the merchant adoption. I feel we are in a very seminal moment, right, with AI happening. I think customers looking to AI for assistance or recommendation, I think it's going to be like a big change in the market. And that in turn will drive a lot of other behavior to kind of change, because we want to kind of serve the customers. Customer is the king. And we have to offer customer choice. And we have to kind of meet their needs. So I feel like, if I'm going to shop somewhere, online, offline, doesn't really matter. I think it is going to be very soon, people are going to ask AI, saying that, listen, this is my requirement. What do you say? And I think that requirement is going to be like at a very high level. So if I'm ordering food, I may not go into any of these food apps. They might open all of that stuff. There is a concept called MCP server, so you can open it up, and then AI agent can order for you, right? That's the trend. So I am on a high protein diet, so I might just ask the AI agent, like, can you order something which is mapping to my high protein diet? And the AI agent might go to say, I have all these food apps. This app has this particular food. I think it's good for you. Can I order? I said, go ahead and order. AI orders it, talks to the chatbots, customer support, whoever it is, and the item comes to your house, right? So I feel like we are getting into that world where people are going to rely on AI for assistance. And I think how that concept kind of now goes to e-commerce or even offline commerce, right? Or pretty much whatever you do, I think it's going to be real. And I think at that point in time, you will need support, and platforms evolve very quickly. So one of the things, at least on Amazon Pay, the way we think about it is we want to be the partner of choice for both customers and merchants as they have to kind of navigate through this, right? So we will, of course, keep our day in, day out, the boring job in terms of making sure that availability is there, affordability is there, right? Trust in payments is there. But beyond that, I think there's a lot of financial inclusion, literacy in terms of how this market is evolving. And being very responsible about credit is also going to be pretty big, right? So I think with the AI evolving, and we don't know how exactly it's going to play out, but I just feel the assistance as a trend is very important, and stitching that journey right from the time somebody asks that assistance to completing that checkout or ordering or payment. I think being able to stitch that story together and not being very disconnected or sitting outside, I think that probably will not work, definitely.
Very nice. Thank you so much. How many of you do your search on AI now? Yeah, a few of you. You already shifted to AI as your easier search model because you are able to ask all kinds of stuff. So thank you so much. Now it's time for you to ask questions. We've got about 15 minutes with us. So depending upon how things go, we'll then take it further. There are, of course, lots of questions in my mind, but I'll open this up for all of you. So anybody who wants to ask questions, remember, it has to be a question, not a statement. And you have to also hopefully tell whom are you asking the question to, so that the person can answer you rightfully. So the person with the mic here, once you finish your question, please give back the mic. Do not follow it up with a second and a third question. Thanks. Questions? Raise your hands, feel free. And do introduce yourself so that we know who is asking for what context.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Urmi Bhattacharjee. So I basically lead the business for Carrier Among, the digital part of Carrier. Now, I have one very, I think, contradictory question here, being from whatever I do. What is that one thing which you think technology hasn't been able to solve for the retail landscape so far?
Whom are you asking this to?
To Mr. Agarwal, Mr. Jain, I think that will be more relevant at this point of time.
Okay.
You want to answer or you?
Yeah, I mean, so the point that Kumar was trying to mention on humanism, the human factor, the emotion, the selling capability of a human or interaction ability of a human, as of now, is very difficult for a AI or for a technology to replicate. Yes, definitely there is a lot of attempt getting made on those lines. There is a lot of new innovations happening there, but there will be some sense, some level of humanism which will persist, and that is the interaction that retailer has to do with consumer, and for retailers, this is the most important moment, and that is what we all lavish and cherish for, and that is what we want to make it better. So I think that is something which technology cannot take away.
I think I would just like to add here, when you asked the question, I had exactly the same thoughts in my mind, that technology needs to be more human. Right now, it intrudes a lot upon the personal privacy, etc., and doesn't have that human touch. However, having said that, on a personal level, but I have experienced it, that AI is changing that to a great extent. I personally take a lot of guidance from ChatGPT for my food habits, what kind of, in Ayurveda, we have Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, so I'm taking a lot of guidance from ChatGPT, and it's helping me a lot. So that's a human touch, However, data-driven and I have to do a lot of prompting to ChatGPT to extract something. But as he rightly said, in retail especially, you need that human touch, which is still missing, but it will come in maybe a few years to come or maybe a few months to come.
और मम्मी की दाल भी नहीं बना सकती हो.
Anyway, how do you replace that 5 senses that all of us want, right? If technology hai, like, how do I get that smell? How do I get that touch feel? How do I get that look? आप कुछ भी कर लो, उसका मजा अलग ही है. So I think there is still that whole 5 senses that we all respond to, plus the fact that there's a heart that's not even talked about. There's a lot that still needs to be done. I don't think technology can fully replace that part yet.
If I can just add one thing, right? I think if you think about a promoter in the store, I think technology can actually assist that person to actually make that service even better. So I don't think it is a replacement. I think it can really complement. It can really complement. So because that human touch, like everybody was saying, is very important. I think where technology can really help is to assist that human touch and even make it like, much more better, sensitive, more informative, right? And that service can be delivered to you much better, right, with technology. So a promoter in the store, you could actually help him with technology and AI, maybe like educate him better in terms of the product features, right? How to respond, know the customer better. So I think as technology evolve, I don't think we should think about a replacement. I think it is about, making those interactions themselves, which we know it works, better. Could be one way to think about it.
Thank you. I think that's a good addition. I was just thinking that there are lots of people who come and ask me, AI ho raha hai, technology ho raha hai, is it that people are going to find that they are useless? Okay. I think the worry is basically for people who are the bosses and the leaders, because initially the leaders would know lots more than what the new entrant in the business would know. But with the various amounts of technology that's available, it's the information part of it is almost equated. Now the boss is only a boss if that person is able to do more than what the technology is capable of giving. And I think that's a big change. Many a times people think that नए लोगों को नौकरी नहीं मिलेगा. I don't think it's that way. It's the other way around. Bosses का नौकरी खतरे पे. So we'll have to really start showing how much of value can we create to fellow people, fellow colleagues in the business to be at where we are. Other questions? Somebody at the last. See, I can see a hand there. Question hai na? Not a statement. Introduction. Introduction.
Hi, I'm Rajesh Rai from Ixula. My company is a digital transformation solution company. And my question is to Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Jain. When you plan to roll out your stores in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, so obviously like you will take the similar setup of technology to those stores which you are opening. How do you adopt to the socio-economic or like technical know-how to that kind of setup? And do you do something extra in terms of like kind of adoption of those tools or deployment you have done in terms of your resources or the setup you have?
I think it's very important to, and it's very difficult for us to even find out relevant data for the markets where we serve or we want to serve. And those markets, still the data either with the government or with agencies are very few in numbers. But still, I think number one, there are still a lot of internally developed solutions with the help of integrations of with Google and other stuff, where we try to project a kind of consumer base or the kind of consumption or the kind of market that we see that as, and the kind of consumer persona which could be available in those markets. But apart from that, once again, it is more human in nature, where our team goes, understands, look at the ways people behave, act, the kind of things that they wear, the kind of things that they consume. There's still the kind of retailers existing there, the kind of banks there, the kind of two-wheeler or four-wheeler stores there, or the judiciary or the administrative systems which are available there. In a smaller town like a Tier 4 town, it is very difficult otherwise to really gauge the amount of potentiality that the town has. So there are few tools which are available, but still nothing is completely perfect. we are still searching for something which could become even better, and it should become even better. That's the way forward.
So in our case, it is quite different. In fact, we use technology to a great extent even while entering a market, a new market. Since we have our own website, Lacoste.in, and we are present on select premium marketplaces also, we are able to get the data that from which pin code in the country we are getting more business. So whenever we enter a new city or enter even in an existing city, we analyze the data to understand how much potential that city has for online business, and whether, of course, apart from that, we study the catchment, we do the research separately, but online data helps us without intruding upon any customer's privacy. We just see the broad data that how much business are we getting online from that particular city, and then we enter that city if we have sufficient critical mass. Second part, when you ask that whether we make any differences there, we don't make any difference. We believe in one brand, one voice. So a technology that we run in Delhi or Bombay or Bangalore or Hyderabad, the same technology will be used in that city also. We use exactly the same technology, exactly the same store format, the same kind of customer experience, the same kind of merchandise, except that there are regional nuances for which we don't we allocate our inventory based on those regional nuances, like could be different weather conditions, it could be the different festivals there. As Lalit also said that there are 13 festivals in Odisha, so they have to wear 13 new garments in every festival. So those kind of regional nuances do play a role, but not in terms of technology, not in terms of any other thing other than allocating our inventory, not from the technology perspective. We use exactly the same technology.
Thank you. I think we've got chance for one more question. It's saying time up. Last question. Wow, now lots of hands are raising. Last one question. I think the team's going to get one for the lady here. First one for the lady. Yeah. Yeah.
Shall I?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Rupali. I work with IKEA for Delhi. My question is to Girish. How do you vision AI in the payments ecosystem in the coming years?
That's a good question. So one is, like I said, AI, customers may not wait till the payment part to kind of engage AI. It could be like very upstream, right? Like the example I said. But let's just like come to payments. I think, if you go to a lot of stores, what instrument to pay with is a question in a lot of customers' mind. Especially if you go to an electronic store. In fact, one anecdote I remember somebody told me in the sales team told me was like, listen, it takes me like, 10 minutes to sell a laptop. It takes half an hour to kind of decide what to kind of pay with, right? Because all these affordability offers are there, no cost EMS there. You do a lot of math over there. So I think the recommendation from the AI in terms of how to pay to kind of maximize savings could be like a good mental model to think about at that point in time. Similar to kind of how the AI might recommend, right, like overall recommendation saying that this is how you should buy, or like this is what I recommend you to kind of, eat. I think at the payment stage, it could be like, okay, fine. I will give you all the instruments. Amazon Pay guarantees, success rates, availability in terms of all the offers are there. But then beyond, all of that stuff, what to pick to kind of maximize your savings, and why is this being recommended to you? Because at some point in time, AI also might understand your finances better than yourself, right? Like, so say that, like, listen, you have probably these installments outstanding on these cards. If you pay with this card, you will get like a longer tenure. Your monthly EMI would be lesser. That actually helps you manage your overall budget. So I think those kind of advancements, which, like a proper financial assistant available at the time of your need, could be one application of AI. But I think the possibilities are like, significantly high.
Very good. Thank you. I think we'll have to stop this here. These gentlemen are available here. If there are specific questions, you can ask them. Unfortunately, we'll have to stop this at this time. I'm just imagining at some point of time, I'd be at the kitchen cooking, suddenly turmeric nahi hai. I just have to tell, "Are haldi chahiye." Maybe Alexa, Alexa haldi le aao. So maybe it will come home. We'll have to wait and watch. It shouldn't be too far away from now. So thank you so much. If you loved it,